What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. So now we have what's inside of phase one. It's obviously pretty disappointing. I do have to point out, it was a pretty disgusting display, having a bunch of influencers taking pictures with these files. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to point out, commentators who have this opinion just say, oh, you're just jealous. I think we all know I wouldn't have been flying to DC for this. But that thing aside, this is supposed to be a serious event, serious files. We have real crimes here. I don't think a bunch of influencers getting these files and then taking selfies with them. I think it's a pretty bad unforced error. Freaking nobody's got these files. A sports reporter with less than 100,000 Twitter followers. I know 100,000 Twitter followers is a lot, but that's it. They're not popular on YouTube or any other platform. They have less than 100,000 Twitter followers, and they have the files, and the American public doesn't. I don't care about getting them. I would never have flown there for a publicity stunt. I just want, if you have these documents, okay, you can just release the PDF to the American public. It's now been 6 hours since this debacle has began, and we now know a little bit more about why these binders, I want to say manage your expectations. I will probably go live later if they do share the actual documents, and we'll go through them. But the reality is the FBI has held back thousands of missing documents. They sent what is basically, I'm going to share what Liz Wheeler put out here.
Agents are trying to hide it. Okay, so
this is what's
the only stunt here was what the SDNY pulled. So let's look at...
No. It was a stunt to have a bunch of influencers show up at the White House. I don't care if you want to do that. That's fine. But then just also release the file immediately to the public. Why? So they can release this stuff behind paywalls? So they can grift off of it? I don't think that this... I'm like... Look, and I love grifting. Have you gone to Amazon.com and typed in... strawberry coffee and bought my coffee yet? Have you gone to Meta PCs yet? Have you gone to Meta PCs, promo code The Quartering, and got your new 50 series? Okay, I'm not against grifting, all right? But it's very odd to me that you would do this with this file. You know what I mean? They fumbled the bag, and my sources inside of the Trump administration, I was off the phone with somebody who has sources, so sources of my sources say that they know they fumbled this. They probably thought this was going to be a huge win, and people are like, what's going on?
And let's look in these files. I'm gonna actually turn the camera so you can look in it yourself. I'm gonna show you what's in here. Okay, so this is the Epstein files, phase one. There's a couple of A, B, C, D. A, I believe, is just the executive summary. Or no, these are the flight logs. B is stuff that's already been released. Again,
the overwhelming majority of it is stuff that's been released.
When you're looking at this and thinking, well, why do we care about things that have already been released? This is the stunt the SDNY was trying to pull on you. They were trying to convince you that you cared about this, that this was...
I don't understand why Kash Patel doesn't just immediately fly to New York and stand there and say, give me the files right now. Or Donald Trump. This is the biggest scandal in American history, in my opinion. And we're trying to get email exchanges, and we're letting them just send us PDF files and say well, this is everything. Oh, it's not everything. Why isn't Kash Patel standing in that building saying, give me everything right now? Everything. And until he gets everything, you don't, this has been fumbled immensely.
This was it. That there was no evidence that would convince you that Jeffrey Epstein was guilty. But if you go to tab C here, this is
awfully
a
redacted.
Rolodex. It's not the client book, and I want to be very clear here. This is not the black book. This is not those who Jeffrey Epstein served. This is just his Rolodex. It's just like going to your contacts tab.
So worthless.
And seeing whose phone number you have in your phone. So this is what Jeffrey Epstein had in his phone. And you'll recognize some names as we go through this list. Again, you'll be able to access all of this online. They were scanning these documents in, digitizing them, and they're going to be posting them. The White House is online, so you'll all be able to look at it. There's no drip of information happening here.
Well, there is, because there's a lot more documents that aren't out there, but
just
I'm not trying to dunk on Liz Wheeler here, by the way. I'm just saying they fumbled this bag bigly.
This was just the new media. You are the media. That's what Elon Musk says. Well, you are the media, not the mainstream media. So giving the information to the media, to the new media. Alec Baldwin's name, you can see right here. Again, this is not, I don't want to portray this as a client list. This is a Rolodex. This is just his contacts list.
Okay.
You can see who's on this list. There were a couple of other ones when I was looking through this earlier that I saw.
And again, just because he has your phone number, that doesn't mean he was selling you women or young boys or whatever. So, like I said earlier, the Rolodex is irrelevant. So far, this is a massive nothing burger.
We're interesting here. There's even a couple of them that are circled. The redacted portions are just the street addresses and the phone numbers of the people. So, Jean-Jacques Brunel. Yeah, there's Mick Jagger is in here. Senator Edward Kennedy is in here. Jean-Jacques Brunel, this guy was someone who worked with Epstein, and he was found dead in a foreign prison. He was like a French model scout. He was found dead in a foreign prison. Naomi Campbell's name is right here. Courtney Love's name you'll find in here a little bit. Tons of Maxwell's. Rupert Murdoch's name is in here. Ethel Kennedy's name is in here. Ivana Trump's name is in here. Michael Jackson's name is in here. Now, many of these, as you know, are already publicly known. This is not the breaking news that you would expect. And again, it's totally fine to feel frustrated by that. But
So the way that I would have handled this as somebody with a marketing background, with background in PR, like actual background, is that you don't release this. Because you just say, it's off. We're going to put everyone up in a hotel for the night. We're going to get the actual files, and then we're going to do that. You go out and say, hey, the FBI went rogue. They only gave us a small chunk. We're going to go get everything. You don't release this. This is embarrassing.
Right. It's fine. It's fine to feel frustrated. You should feel frustrated. But the target of your frustration should be the SDNY.
It also seems like all of these influencers were specifically instructed to sweep for Pam Bondi. And nearly every one of these people that got a binder have included some form of statement about, well, how it's not Pam Bondi's fault.
Who tried to gaslight you into thinking that this was it. This was the extent of what the...
I mean, a couple hundred pages from like an international investigation. There should be 10,000 pages.
Of the evidence against Epstein. That's not the case. So let me turn this. So there's also flight logs in here. And I do think that there is one interesting thing in the flight log. Again, it's not a juicy bombshell, but the name of the pilot that flew the plane on all of these flights, it was the same guy, the same pilot. So he saw everything. He saw everything.
Why isn't he being deposed?
He might be an interesting place for this investigation to start. I know he has been. Okay, so this is the redacted stuff. I was told by the Attorney General that the redacted information is the names and addresses of the victims who, of course, were sexually abused.
Sure.
You can see this. And this just goes back to the Rolodex. So that's it. So when you I mean, there's a couple people I want to address online here. Let me turn the phone back around. And if there's anything else anybody wants to see, first of all, it'll be up online. And if it's not already, it'll be up online momentarily.
Why would I want it? It's completely useless.
But a couple of the people who are claiming that this was some kind of stunt, it was a stunt. It was a stunt by the SDNY.
No, it was a stunt by the Trump admin. Total and complete unforced error. It's humiliating. Now, can he do not redeem it? Can he be redeemed? Yeah, I mean, if they really do release the files tomorrow morning. Now, Pam Bondi has said that her expectation is that she has the files all in her desk by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. But this is humiliating. Like, nobody knows who these people are. Except for, like, terminally online people. Do you think the average American thinks, wow, Jack Posobiec has the file and he got a free MAGA hat? Wow, a guy named DC Drano. Nobody knows who these people are. And this is the most important investigation cover-up in American history. Now, I'm not saying that you should have given it to Anderson Cooper. But, how about Tucker Carlson? How about James O'Keefe? How about, any other trusted reporters other than just X personalities? I don't even know who this woman is or who this woman is. Is that Libs of TikTok? Libs of TikTok has the Epstein files? Is that supposed to be a W? That's embarrassing. And again, like, if you wanted to do this, like, why are these people all smiling? This is terrible. You see, I'm absolutely disgusted by the display. I don't like how they use these influencers like pawns. They definitely were not told the full truth. They shouldn't have done this in a public press release. Lots of odd things this entire day. You know, it was a psyop from the beginning. Can you just imagine how the victims feel seeing all these smiles and laughing at this, shall we say, circus? You know, I don't expect to be blown away. Well, I just showed you there's nothing. It's a complete nothing burger. You know, upload the PDFs to a government link. Well, here you had Liz Wheeler who basically said it's a complete nothing burger. Big L for Poso, hyping even after the binder, having the binder in hand, saying, hey, we're going to use this to exclusively make money. I don't like that. It should have been available to everybody. And, you know, excuse me if I don't feel, who the hell am I? Am I supposed to feel bad for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel? They're the bosses. Then you have the GOP judiciary rickrolling. Are we making jokes about this? Here's your House Judiciary GOP. Tim Young, you rickroll on a serious issue. This is why we lose. Fire whoever thought this was a good idea. You got to be kidding me. F you guys, seriously. They're just laughing at us. At this point, we were never going to get the files. I don't even feel like there's any value in going live later. Think of all the coffee I could sell. What am I going to go live and talk about? His Rolodex? Big whoop. That doesn't mean that they committed a crime just because he has the phone numbers. Savannah Hernandez, even, by the way, she wasn't caught in any of these selfies. Good for her. But she does this whole thing about how Pam Bondi tried to do the thing. And why are they excusing it? Who else is supposed to do this? Who on earth, who is supposed to be responsible for this? Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. If the FBI didn't give them what they want, why the hell is Kash Patel and Pam Bondi not at that facility getting the files? This is ridiculous. The whole thing is embarrassing from top to bottom. What a disaster. I mean, they have a sports reporter. No disrespect to Emily Austin, okay? No disrespect. You're a sports reporter with 90,000 followers on Twitter, and you have the Epstein files.
I saw y'all on the internet coming for Kash Patel, saying he's day 5.
And they're all sweeping for Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, by the way. If you don't like me saying that, well, that's what they're all doing. They trotted all these influencers to sweep for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel for getting duped by the FBI. There's no reason that they shouldn't be at the FBI's door right now, getting the files and releasing the full documents later tonight. What's this give me till tomorrow nonsense? Absurd. Totally embarrassing.